Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Chats with Chaudhry. I hope you're safe and well. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Dr. Laura Moody, who is product manager for primary packaging and liquid pharma in North America for Syntegon. And today, we are going to be talking about the challenges around manufacturing of cell and gene therapies and ATMPs. So, Laura, how are you?
I am very well today. It's a sunny day. We're getting some fall weather. I love it. I'm from Minnesota originally, and that's where I sit currently. So bring on the cooler weather. How are you?
I'm very, very well, actually. And it's actually a bit of a mixed day this afternoon here in Surrey in the UK, but it's still sun shining. There's a bit of a few grey clouds, but it's okay. And actually, I'm glad you said you're in Minnesota because I got my Twins jersey out just for you to show you a bit of support as we do this interview. Also, I was lucky enough to listen to your presentation last week at Virtual Expo, which was a very good presentation, I have to say. So I look forward to hearing what you've got to say about manufacturing cell and gene therapy and ATMPs. So, and if we can find a link to that presentation on demand, I will add that to this above the video as well, so people can watch that as well if they can. So before we start talking about the challenges around cell and gene therapies, manufacturing cell and gene therapies and ATMPs, would you mind giving viewers a quick overview on your own background and also about Syntegon if they're not familiar with the company?
Yeah, sure thing. So my background is actually as a cellular and molecular biologist. I received my PhD a while ago in that field. Worked in academia for quite a few years, bench scientist, and then made a transition into industry and worked in the drug discovery space. Did a lot of cell manufacturing as well, and then for me, it was time to make a change. I was getting bored with pipetting from one test tube to another. I wanted to explore more business opportunities. I found a great match, a great company to make that career shift. At the time, it was Bosch Packaging. Now, since 2020, we are Syntegon Pharma Technology. And what my division does is we manufacture the machines that get the final drug product aseptically into a vial, a syringe, a cartridge, an ampule, whatever that final container type will be. So it's a really great mix of taking my background as a biologist and speaking to the same customers, pharmaceutical customers, and understanding their product really well, and then translating that back to our engineers as we build out new machines for new technologies.
Brilliant. So let's talk about cell and gene therapy and ATMP. So for those people who are not familiar with that terminology, I'm sure a lot of people are because they are such buzzwords within the industry. But what do we mean when we talk about cell and gene therapies and ATMPs? And also, what do you see? I mean, do you see them becoming more of a bigger part of the pharma/biopharma sector in terms of the drugs which are out there?
Yeah, certainly. So as you said, these ATMPs, cell and gene therapies, buzzwords in the industry, I use them interchangeably. I know in the US, we call these therapies cell and gene therapies or CGTs. In the EU, other parts of the world, they're advanced therapy medicinal products or ATMPs. But really what we're talking about is personalized medicine. We're making in a classical sense, it's really making deliberate changes to a patient's DNA or RNA to cure a disease. So, yeah, I think your second question was, is this really where the industry is going? And if we look at R&D spend from not only big pharma, but also smaller and up and coming companies, it's not a fad. This is here to stay. It's a great new technology. And what's really interesting is that one dose of one of these gene therapies can change a patient's life for the rest of their life. It's really one injection to make a permanent change to a DNA to correct a mutation that might be life-threatening and could be corrected with a gene therapy. So it's really cool stuff, and I'm excited to be a part of this industry.
Great. So what are the major differences then, say, manufacturing a cell and gene therapy or ATMP compared to, say, manufacturing a blockbuster drug? What are the main differences between sort of the traditional medicines out there and manufacturing them and packaging them and those in terms of the cell and gene therapy space?
Yeah, the biggest difference is the batch size. So typically a blockbuster drug, you're going to be making thousands and thousands and thousands of the same product. For primary packaging, you're going to be filling, for example, vials at 600 vials a minute. I mean, that is so fast. You're just pumping out these vials of product, but this product is going to be reaching the masses. For example, the COVID vaccine, right? We're trying to make as much as possible to get it out to the whole world. For cell and gene therapies, these batch sizes are so small. If you have a very rare disease that can be treated with a gene therapy, for example, your batch size might be 500 vials or 1,000 vials. So you don't need a filler that's filling at 600 vials a minute. You'll need something that's a lot slower, but it's also a lot more precise. So a lot of these fillers will have 100% in-process check weigh. So you're weighing every single vial to make sure that you're using every drop of this very expensive and hard to make product.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Because obviously, if you are making smaller batch sizes, then that must have an impact in terms of the machinery you're using and also the time used on the machinery, because obviously you need to switch from one batch to another as well, don't you? So how do you sort of handle that?
Yeah, great question. That's exactly right. So these batch sizes are very small. You're only going to be utilizing a filler, for example, for maybe 2 hours, even with a slow fill rate. So, for example, a CMO that is being contracted to fill these smaller batches of product for maybe a small startup company that doesn't have the investment dollars to invest in an aseptic filler, a CMO would need to then transition midday to fill another customer's product. So you need flexibility in what type of containers can be filled, vials, syringes, cartridges, again, that flexibility. There's going to be a lot of single-use technology used because the time and money needed to validate the cleaning procedure of stainless steel pumps or fill needles, it's expensive, it's time consuming. So using single-use instead is a path that we're seeing in the industry. We're seeing single-use take off. And we're also seeing a lot more automation. We're trying to take the human element out of the process, and that also decreases chances of contamination as well.
Right. Okay. So you mentioned about the expense and how expensive these are, and I think you might have covered some of this in terms of what you just said. But so, what are drug manufacturers doing to protect their product during downstream manufacturing? Which is the most critical step during manufacturing?
Yeah, what's up and coming in the industry right now? We're seeing gloveless isolators. So again, highly automated, using robotics, taking humans out of the picture. Syntegon actually we have a development project right now that we're working on. It's gloveless isolator work cell, 100% automated. We're using robots to set up the fluid path. There's pharma handling units, Staubli robots doing all of the work, all pre-programmed, and that really cuts down on the chance of contamination, which again, these products are so expensive. If you have a contaminating event, you lose your batch. And as I mentioned before, sometimes a batch comes from a single patient. You can't get that product again.
Right.
So that's one of the ways that technology is developing around decreasing the chance of contamination.
Right. And how else has the packaging industry then adapted to the change in the market?
Yeah, well, I already kind of teased it a little bit, but we're seeing a huge increase in single-use technology. About 5 years ago, there was a slow rate of adoption for not only smaller pharmaceutical manufacturers, but big pharma adopting single use. With COVID, that has spiked. So at Syntegon, we do manufacture some single use components. we are seeing the demand skyrocket, and it's causing us to kind of reassess our manufacturing process for these single-use technologies, really understand, okay, we think this demand will be here for all time now. Once companies make that shift to single use, it's highly unlikely that they're going to go back to more traditional stainless steel components. So we are beefing up our manufacturing capabilities, validating a new process so we can deliver single use items for the industry a lot faster.
Right. But what about in terms of sourcing single-use material to make the products, though? I mean, is there a challenge around that? Because as you said, single-use has gone up tremendously certainly over the last 2 years. So how do you see that impacting in terms of sourcing the material to make the single-use components that you need?
Yeah, sourcing is an issue because of the increased demand. We're seeing that some of the raw materials are harder to come by. One thing in particular that we're also seeing in terms of single-use fill finish assemblies, those assembly halls where these tubing and bag products were assembled, pre-COVID, you had a lot of people working, a lot of operators assembling these. COVID times, you need social distancing. You can't have as many workers doing this at a time. We're also seeing labor shortages, not only in the US, but also around the world. So a lot of that is a really manual process. And because the labor is not there, it's hard to manufacture these as quickly as the industry demands.
Right. Now, let's talk about Syntegon and how you're handling the current demand for cell and gene therapy. So what solutions have you developed then over the last 18 months or so to help manufacturers out there in terms of small batch manufacturing and fill and finish in those particular areas?
I'm so happy you asked this question because we have this new product line, the Versinta product line that's really targeted at small batch manufacturing. So we have 2 new product lines that we're promoting, we're talking about, we're excited about. One is the flexible filling portfolio. Yep, flexible filling platform, FFP. We call it the FFP, and we are. This is a modular fill finish platform. So we have modules for filling. We have a module for closing and capping. We have a module for automatic bag or tub opening. We have a module for freeze drying. Whatever your drug manufacturing process requires, you can mix and match those modules and design something that is right for your product. What's also exciting about the Versinta FFP is that it comes with our new integrated air handling isolator. So that because of the integrated air handling, this machine can just drop into a clean room. There's no need for a technical space above the cleaning room for all of the typical air handling components. So it's really user-friendly. Another innovation that we have, I've already mentioned it, the Versinta microbatch, this gloveless isolator works out. Right. It has that same integrated air handling in the isolator. It's gloveless, totally automated, and it's what we feel it's going to help manufacturers of these small batch products be more in control of their process, even though we're taking the humans out of the equation. Highly automated. We'll be able to weigh every vial so that we know that every drop of product is getting into the container as intended. And it's just cutting edge stuff that we're really excited about. Fantastic.
So if people would like to know more about the products, but also about cell and gene therapy and what the challenges are and how they can sort of help overcome those particular challenges, where can they get more information?
Great question. We have been very active on LinkedIn promoting the Versinta portfolio. Another thing that I would like to mention is we are trying to spread the word about our Isolators 101 training platform. This is an online training platform that's entirely free. especially for small up and coming companies who are starting to get their feet wet, learning more about manufacturing. This is a really nice basis for what are isolators, how do they work, what are the differences between an aseptic isolator, high potent isolator, how do you get materials into and out of isolators? We have all of these topics covered in our Isolators 101 training portfolio. So reach out to me directly if you want access to that. It's really cool stuff. We also have white papers coming out soon that are talking about our Versinta FFP. And I will be at PAC Expo in Las Vegas, Nevada in the US at the end of September. That's September 22nd or 27th through the 29th. And Syntegon and me will also be at Interfex in New York City, talking about not only Versinta, but also our entire portfolio. That is October 19th through the 21st. So we have a lot of opportunities coming up to spread the word about how Syntegon is addressing small batch manufacturing. And I hope you're interested. Reach out to me.
Fantastic. Well, we'll put the links to those events and to Versinta and the other products websites up above the video so people can see that. And also those events are in North America, but I know Syntegon are going to be at events in Europe as well, so we'll put those links up as well, not to exclude our European audience as well, so they'll all see it. And obviously they can message you directly as well. So Laura, it's been lovely seeing you again. I say seeing you again because I watched the presentation last week, so I feel like I know you really well now. So I wish you lots of success with the rollout with the products. I wish you lots of success at the shows at Las Vegas and Interfex. I would love to be at Interfex. It's one of my favorite shows, but who knows if they're going to let us Brits in to the US at the moment. If they do, then I might see you there. If not, obviously, I hope you have a fantastic show. So viewers, there you go. Hopefully it's given you an overview of some of the challenges around cell and gene therapy, manufacturing, and also around ATMPs, and also where you can or how you can overcome those particular problems. So if you want to know more, check out the links above the video. Make sure you go to PAC Expo, or if you're there at PAC Expo or Interfex, go with the Syntegon booth. Laura will be there. She'll be only too happy to give you a demo and talk to you more about that. Or you can message Laura directly as well. So all that's something to say is, Laura, thank you very much for talking to me today. I hope the weather stays wonderful for you, no matter how you like it. I hope it's the way you like it. So thank you very much, and enjoy your time in Minnesota. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This was a great opportunity.
And thank you for watching. I hope you found that useful. So check out the links above the video. Send Laura any messages. Until next time, as always, stay well and stay safe. Bye-bye.